Oh, what a day. What's up, my beautiful people? Oh, man. It's going to be an interesting show. I will tell you guys why. If you see the smiles on our faces, you can tell that this has been quite the event. But in any event, my name is Kujo Speaks.
I'm Nikki.
And this is No Hangover. So let's just get into it and let's bust it open with what's happening. Because I feel like if we try to just act like it didn't happen,
right,
then the show's gonna be weird. So as a lot of you know, Joelle got to be here this time. Yes.
Yay.
I love it. For those of you that don't know, we record a lot of our shows, and we have our live studio audience with us. Well, we did an entire show yesterday, right? Great show, a lot of energy. It was amazing. And for some reason, the system that we used decided not to record the show. So I get done and I'm all excited about how it went and I'm all hype and I'm trying to look at the video because I wanted to watch a bit back of it. I always do. I watched like at least the first 5 minutes just to see how it went. And it didn't pop up. So I'm like, wait a minute, maybe it's just not. Hold on. I clicked off. I refreshed. I went back. I refreshed again. And there was nowhere. Oh man. You should have seen me. Like it was the most crushing blow. Me being someone who studied audio engineering and went to school for all this techie stuff and video and all that, like for that to happen to me, I felt so dumb.
Hey, it happens. Dumb. And you know what? We're re-recording it, so Facts. Our friends get a second show this week. So it is what it is.
That'll be referred to now as the Ghost Show.
There you go.
Because I don't remember most of it. Not because I was drunk, just because it's like a different kind of adrenaline when you do these. That you just kind of go and watch it later and like, oh man, okay, that worked, that didn't work, that was cool, that wasn't cool. So I'm very excited. But as usual, we're very happy you guys are here. For those of you that this may be your first time, No Hangover is intended to be the place for those that do not drink or do any drugs, that miss partying, miss having somewhere to be on a Friday night, where they can be with like-minded people and turn up. So this is that place. Don't worry, it's not like a recovery meeting per se. We do talk a lot about recovery and about addiction because obviously that is who we are. But we cover everything. We talk about everything. We welcome everybody, whether you drink, don't drink, or whatever the case may be. We love you all, and we thank you all for being here with us.
Yes, absolutely.
Indubitably. So I need a drink right now. So we're going to bust open the drink of the week early in this one. We did try these drinks yesterday, but I decided to do some variations. And I think Nikki has some other ingredients as well she's gonna try. So hold on, actually I gotta get my my old mix cam up here. Where you at, bud? See, this is what happens when you do live stuff like this tends to happen. There's stuff in the way. What am I doing over here? Look at me, I'm a mess. Oh
my god, you know what I just noticed? I don't have a cup. I gotta go to the cup.
All right, that's all good. I'm gonna explain to these people what's going on here. So this week we did LaCroix. I got black raspberry and passion fruit, and from yesterday's tasting, I did not like the passion fruit at all by any means. I did add this Mio to both of them, and I think the blackberry one was still good, but I think passion fruit was still gross.
Yeah, I didn't think you liked either of them, right?
No. I liked the blackberry. Well, I didn't like the blackberry one straight up. No, I thought it was disgusting. But I did like the blackberry with the Mio in it.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I gotta pour this out from yesterday. Gross. So I got a couple little things I want to try. So those of you that are alcohol drinkers, you'll know that you do pickleback shots, right? Pickleback shots typically are for the grossest of all alcohols, and it wipes out the taste. So my thought was, and I may be crazy, my thought was if I try this passion fruit and pickleback it, I might be all right. So we'll see. We're going to take a shot. So whatever you're drinking on, pour you something up.
I went a different route than you. Because last time you did it with juice and you said it took the carbonation away.
It did.
So I think I'm going to try to put Sprite with it. Or like I have Fanta.
Add some?
Yeah. Like flavor of some type of carbonated flavor. Okay. And see if that makes it taste better.
What's up, Sean? He said LaCroix equals death water. Isn't there literally a water called liquid death? I think they're going to sue you.
I think there is.
They will sue you. All right, you ready? Everybody got their drinks poured up?
I'm pouring mine.
Pile up. I'm only doing
I don't
a little
know which one to put with it.
You want to hear how strange this day actually is, too? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do pickle juice. And I look in the fridge earlier, and there's pickle juice in there, obviously. I'm like, cool. I go to grab it to come down here and do the show, and my daughter decided to eat the last pickles and to drink the juice. Like, when does that ever happen? Like, right when I need it, finally it gets drank. All right, so everybody raise your glasses. At the beginning of every show, when we do our drink of the week, we like to do a toast, and this is said toast. Cheers to the people who have passed before us due to this terrible disease. Cheers to those fighting alongside of us to stay sober and have a good recovery. And to those that are on the other side that are drinking and may want to come to this side but haven't quite done it yet, come on, baby. The water's fine.
Come on over.
Cheers. All right. Ready? Here we go.
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of good with the Sprite. It just tastes like Sprite with like a little bit of raspberry flavor.
Nah, the pickleback does the trick. It's funny too, because it's not good to me at all. And it really does emulate the whole like take a gross shot and then do the pickleback behind it. I'm a big fan.
You like it?
Yeah, I mean, picklebacks do exactly what they're intended to do. They take away the entire grossness.
See, honestly, I've never done a pickleback shot. I've heard of them, but I've never done them. I've always been like a chaser girl. Like if I was drinking, I always had some type of pop or some type of juice like right after. And that's how I did mine. Like
I was that raw, like I would gargle booze. Like just to gross people out. Like Wild Turkey, I think is probably the harshest, grossest booze I've ever had in my life. So I would buy like a pint of it and take it to a party with me, and I'd go gargle it, slam the whole thing. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the mixing or the whatnots. I also did bring some lemon or lime juice. I'm gonna see if the lime juice will do the same as the pickle juice did. My stomach's gonna hurt tonight.
Yeah, all types of flavors going on there.
Yeah, plus tonight we're actually very excited. Tonight the network is opening our venue that we just acquired. So we got to do that tonight too. So I'm gonna go in there with my tummy hurting and have to blow the bathroom up first thing.
Oh. So where is this venue at anyway? So it's just like a new place to record?
No, it's actually a bar. It's a fully functioning bar that they took over, and it's a huge venue. So we're gonna do like our show, Good Time Show, is now going to be shot live on location with like a live studio audience and all that.
Sweet.
And then, like I said, the outside of the bar, we're milling around making that the Sobar Lounge. So basically outside on the patio, it'll be all like smoothies and mocktails and water and, stuff like that. The idea for me is to have somewhere that I don't want to puke just thinking about it. Yeah, it's gross. Somewhere that like the DDs can go hang out when they're driving their friends, or people like us that do enjoy dancing and scenery like that, to have multiple options instead of just saying let me get a water or a Sprite or whatever the case may be. An actual place somewhere, not just them having options for us, an actual place. You remember when the restaurants didn't have vegan options, and then they started popping up with vegan and vegetarian options, and that was like the go-to place, right?
Right.
So now they have like one or two mocktails at some of these places, and yeah, that's cool and all, but can you imagine an entire fully stocked bar where you have 20-30 options?
Yeah, that's really cool. I do remember you mentioning this now. I don't know. I guess I forgot, but that sounds super cool.
It does.
And I think it's cool that there's both, because a lot of the time I've heard of, just regular bars, and then there's like strictly sober bars.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of one where there's kind of like both,
I think that's what it needs to be that way. Because if we're trying to get rid of the stigma of us being at places like that, then there needs to be a commingled space where we can hang out and do our thing. Honestly, I think bars and clubs would be safer if they integrated stuff like that, because there'd be more sober people in that location. Right. So it's not just 100 hammered people doing their thing. There's 50 hammered, 20 sober, and 30 people in between. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, I think it's a awesome idea. I love that.
It's just a thought. I guess we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Tanya, hi. I agree. Hello, Tanya.
I think this is the first
time. Yeah. I think it's the first time you were able to join us, Tanya. What's up? Dennis is in the building. Our local crazy Canadian's in the building. Papa Love, David's in the building. Sean stopped by. What's up, family? So excited. All right. So I was very disappointed because my favorite segment that I just came up with happened on the Ghost Show. So I think I'm going to wait quite a while before I bring that segment back and let it refresh itself. But lucky for you all, I did come up with another cool segment.
Awesome.
I just have to find it. Okay, so typically we'll do like 5, but these are shorter scenarios, I guess. I think they'll be a little bit quicker, so there's 7 of them. Okay. So this segment is called Sip or Dip.
Okay.
Now, cheesy me, I got to write things out. I'm all theatrical. You know how I get down. So I did write a little intro to this, and let's see how it goes. You've been hit with a pickup line you can't resist, like, do you smoke pot? Because we'd be cute together. You decide to take them up on their offer. You arrive and order a drink. As your drink hits the table, this happens. Are you sipping and seeing what happens, or are you dipping? Boom.
I like it.
I think it's gonna be cool. So what I did was I went and I looked up all like this just terrible first date stuff. I think in the future I'll come up with some scenarios because my mind's a pretty dark place. But for now, you get some ones that were already on the interwebs. Most of them I found on BuzzFeed. So if you want to find these, go to BuzzFeed and look up like 40 top horror stories of dates or whatever you want to look up. All right, number 1. Had a Tinder date with a guy that I was really excited about. We planned on going sledding. I showed up and asked where he was. After looking for a few minutes, a totally different guy came up and said, "Hi, I'm his roommate. He couldn't make it and sent me instead." I was absolutely gobsmacked, and the guy who didn't show up couldn't fathom why I was upset when I texted him and just kept saying his roommate was a great guy. So you show up to a first date, dude sends his roommate in his place. Are you sipping and seeing what happens, or are you dipping?
I am straight dipping. I'm dipping. I mean, I guess it would depend on what's he look like.
See.
Is he ugly?
See? She didn't say. She didn't say whether. Honestly, she didn't even say if she ended up kicking it with the dude or not.
See, I would like to say that I would dip, but if it was like the most handsome man in the world, I would probably sip.
It could have been one of those serendipitous moments where like he actually turned out to be your person, and it just was weird that it worked out that way.
I just want to understand like the actual dude's like thinking. Like, if he likes this girl and like wanted to date her, then
I mean, it says they found each other on Tinder though, so I mean,
right.
How serious can you really be when you just meet somebody on Tinder? And it was a first date. It was a Tinder first date. So,
okay.
I mean, I would hope, I would hope the dude was a good dude or like at least a good looking, funny dude. Like, I don't know. He must have had confidence in his roommate if he decided to send him in his place.
Right.
Ashley's in the building. What's up,
Ashley?
All right, number 2. In college, a guy asked to meet up to get milkshakes. Cool. He gave me the address of where to meet him. I get there, and it's a Burger King. I stuck it out until he showed me a picture of his apartment, where you could see his reflection in the window, and he was naked. The guy subtly showed me his dick on the first date at a Burger King. The worst part was he smirked and winked and said, "You like?" Are you sipping? So wait, there's a multiple part to this, I guess. When you find out that it's a Burger King, are you sipping or dipping?
Burger King, I'm staying. I'd prefer McDonald's, but yeah, I mean, food's food.
Fair enough. And it was milkshakes. I mean, they got decent milkshakes, so cool.
Right.
Okay, now what about the apartment with the naked, subtle dick flash? Sipping or dipping?
Yeah, I would probably dip at that point.
I would think so too.
Yeah.
But she stuck around for a little bit. I think the "you like" is where it took a turn.
Right.
I mean, you could have went so many ways with that. Oops. Oh man, I didn't realize I was naked in that picture. Oh my goodness.
I think that was what he was aiming to do. And, it just didn't work because like, why else would you choose to take a picture of your apartment and show it to somebody?
Right.
While also coincidentally being naked.
I always have questions. I always have so many more questions when I see these and I want to like contact the people. Like, okay, so was his apartment gross? Was it a nice apartment? Like, why was he showing you the apartment in the first place? Was he bragging about it? Right. Was his pee-pee little? Like, how? I gotta know all these things, man. I'm nosy.
We need the details.
I need all the deets. So far, I think you've dipped on both of these, right?
Yeah,
you only sipped through the Burger King portion.
Yeah, I would sip through Burger King for sure, and then I would definitely dip afterwards. As soon as the apartment picture comes up, I'm out.
I feel you on that one. I think I would too, even if it was a female, like, because that's just weird. I don't know. Yeah. Like, I think something's wrong with you at that point.
Well, I think it would be the equivalent of like sending an unsolicited dick pic like on Messenger on Facebook.
No, I think that's totally different because you're in different spaces. You're in whole different spaces and you're sending it to her via like almost not anonymously, but like shooting it over there, just shooting your shot kind of thing. You're standing in front of her. You're with her physically and you're going to show her a picture.
Right.
It's so much weirder.
Like, it is weirder.
You're supposed to be putting the work in at that point to show her in person, not like slip it in there hoping that she's desperate enough and your wee-wee's big enough in the picture that she's gonna want something. Like, I don't know.
Well, I'm assuming that was his mindset going into this was this is probably kids, gonna work.
Some people's kids, I tell you. All right, number 3. We went to sushi. And he just had to go back to his. Oh, this one is. I love this one. Went to sushi. He just had to go back to his place before drinks. Turned out we had to go back to his place because he was afraid of public restrooms. I sat alone in his living room listening to him straining while trying to poop. He then realized he was out of toilet paper and texted me to grab him a roll from upstairs. Let's not even get into the smell. Literally the shittiest date ever. Are you sipping or are you dipping while he's shitting?
See, for this one, I don't think I dip, honestly, because it happens to the best of us. We all poop. We all run out of toilet paper every now and then. And I don't personally like public bathrooms either. So can't blame the dude.
I felt the same way. I did. But there's some females that they find that whatever. I would have been like, you're a cool ass girl. Like, you don't mind doing what you do. I'm with it. I don't have to go through like a year of you trying to hold farts and not pooping around me and all that weird stuff. Like, we knocked that out right away. So now anything weird I do, I can bring it back to, well, on our first date, you kind of pooped and stunk up,
And imagine that story. Like, I fell in love with her and she was shitting in my house.
It's pretty shitty the way we fell in love.
That's when I knew she was the one.
I knew it. It was that third grunt that really got me.
Right.
So gross. I wouldn't. I think any of you guys in the comments would dip on that one. I think we got some pretty non-judgmental people in here, so I think our crew would probably stick around.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, number 4. I matched with a guy on a dating app. He was cute and well-traveled, so I thought we'd get along. He told me he was such a bad kid growing up that his mother had to send him to a boarding school in the middle of the desert. But apparently this was a good experience and got him on track because he went on to go to college, where he became a heroin dealer. I can't understand how he was so confused as to why I didn't want to go on a second date, but my standards for a good date after that became not a heroin dealer. Are you sipping or dipping when you find out dude's a heroin dealer?
Well, in this day and age, I would have to dip because I'm in recovery. But 5 years ago, I'd definitely be sipping. Hell yeah, I'd be sipping.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, I just went on a date with the plug. That's
right. Yeah. Hell yeah. The plug was like the one you're looking for in a relationship and active addiction. So you get that lucky. Hell yeah. But
that would have been pretty sweet.
Not today.
Now, I thought about it too, though, on the other end of it. Like today where we are, I think even though both of us would want to dip and not date that person, I think we'd sip and try to help them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think
I'd hang out the whole time and be like, it's you should come to these meetings with me and da 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 da.
Right.
I don't think I'd just leave her high and dry.
Right. No, I would have to agree with that because in my mind, it'd be like, so why do you think you were a bad kid? What do you think was the reason you went to boarding school? What did you learn? How did that change? I'd be asking all kinds of questions.
You know what I'd do? I'd get her drunk as hell and talk to her about her deepest, darkest, you get emotional when you're drinking and you say everything that's on your mind. I'd get her hammered and then just work the shit out of her brain until she's, I don't know why I'm this way anymore. I don't want to be this way. Great success. David said, get some test strips. Yeah, we probably would end up making fun of the plug. Your drugs are trash. What are you cutting this grossness with?
Tanya said, holy crap. Tanya.
I used to say, hey, handsome, when you get a handsome. Well, that's a pretty forward line. I like that one.
That is.
There was some good ones in there like that, too, like super forward. I'm going to go to that link, too, and we're going to read some of those later on. I had to make sure I put that link in here because there was some doozies. All right, where am I at? Number 5? Number 5. I had my eye on this guy for a while. After a few weeks of flirting, he finally asked me to go to a gig with him on a date. We went to the gig, and we're having a good time when suddenly his parents show up. Turned out he had invited them because he wanted me to meet them on our first date. Afterwards, he called me continuously, and I asked him to back off, but he didn't, so I called it off completely. This ended with him begging me to change my mind by screaming, I'm a cool person. You sipping or dipping when the rents show up?
See, I wouldn't want to meet the parents on the first date. Absolutely not.
It would be weird, wouldn't it?
But when I'm in a relationship, the way that the parents are is so important to me. If I can't get along with your parents, we're not going to work out. You know what I mean? I will not be in a relationship with somebody whose parents hate me. I did it one time and it was the absolute worst thing ever. But I feel like growing up, I've always been that kid that nobody's parents liked because I was always the bad kid. And so now I try to make up for it. I am best friends with my boyfriend's aunt who raised him.
Oh,
and I swear we do everything together. And I'm this is the fucking shit. I wouldn't want it any other way. Who wants to be in a relationship with someone whose parents hate them?
I was the opposite growing up. I was a kid that everybody's parents loved. And I went to a predominantly white school. So I lived in affluent. Well, where I lived wasn't affluent, but adjacent to where I lived was affluency. So it was nice to be the only black kid walking around the neighborhoods and all the parents loved me and I'm hanging out at these girls' houses and stuff. And, wasn't necessarily the greatest kid, I guess. I was, I guess I didn't think I partied or had sex, but I did. I don't know. I wouldn't mind, though. I don't think I would dip. I think it's different for a guy, though. A woman meeting a guy's parents, you think he's immature, I guess. He's too attached to his parents, I think most women would think. But if a woman's letting me meet her parents off the bat, I think that negates a lot of issues, especially if they like you and they're cool, and then you don't have to worry about that down the road, at least for me.
I'm also wondering what the venue was. Like, where were they? What were they doing that, like, the parents came? Like,
well, they said it was a concert, so
right.
I guarantee you it wasn't like an arena show. I wouldn't think. Right. I would think like a smaller venue, which will make it even weirder because it's a lot more intimate.
Yeah.
That's strange.
And depending on the music, like, because I know if I'm at a concert, I'm getting down. I don't know if I would want, someone I'm interested in, parents to meet me for the first time at a concert. You know what I mean?
It would ruin the concert. It would definitely ruin the concert because then you got to be that's what
you got to behave.
Being sober is weird sometimes, man. Like even when you're thinking about scenarios, I can't even think about them the same as I used to.
Right.
Like I just went to John Mayer the other day, and I couldn't imagine being there hammered. You know what I mean?
It's so weird because like early recovery, I was like, I cannot imagine the rest of my life sober. Like I can't imagine going anywhere sober, doing anything sober. And now I can't imagine not. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't understand how I got through so much shit.
Thank you. I said the same thing, and I'm still. So the concert. Let me think back. So since I've been sober, I'll say November 28th, 2020. I think I went to a wedding shortly after that. My best friend's wedding I was standing up in. He wasn't drinking either because he hurt himself, so that made it easier for me. I think this is the first like concert or really like big thing like that I've been to since being sober. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I just didn't want to go anywhere. Right. Why would I go do stuff that I used to do? I'm not going to have fun. I'm not going to waste my time. I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. And I'm going to this thing tonight, and I have a drink named after me, a mocktail named after me. Like, and I expect to have an incredible time now, where I used to not. Like, I literally was like, I don't want to go anywhere. What's the point? I'm not going to have fun. Why go out? But I say all that to say, I think if the parents would have shown up and I was sober, I don't think I'd have had a problem with it at all. It would have been cool. I would have thought that was the most awesome thing in the world. Right. But if I'm drinking and trying to party and have fun and like do me, I'd have been like, bro, really?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I don't know. Some of these girls' parents be partying harder than we do.
For real, though. For real.
All right, number 6. I was on a great first date with a guy. I went to a bar during the day and ordered lunch and a beer. Oh, we ordered lunch and a beer each. After many hours of conversation, I thought, wow, this guy's so great. We walk outside. Okay, wait, let me stop. Now, keep in mind that the whole date, that hours, they've talked for hours. They're having an incredible time. He's a super good looking dude. Like, old girl's probably definitely about to give him some for sure. Probably thinking marriage at this point, right? Okay. We walk outside and he had parked far away. So I offered to drive him to his car. He promptly gets in my car, lowers his pants, and starts jerking off.
Why'd you have to ruin it?
I laughed so hard because I'm like, bro, you got all the way to the finish. You probably were about to go get some.
Right.
What in your right mind made you think that was the time to whip him out and go 12 rounds?
Wow. Yeah.
Allison's in the building too. I didn't cut you off. Allison's here.
Allison, hey.
She says concerts sober are my favorite. I actually remember them. I actually go to the concerts with my parents all the time. My mom and I are headbanging in the mosh pits. Just don't take a first date. I don't know though. If your mom's that cool and she's rocking out, I think it'd be cool. But yeah, you sipping or dipping through Jerk Fest?
See, I probably would have to dip at that. But, I would probably dip. I would have to say I would probably dip. But it would depend. Like, how am I at that point? Like, am I also a little bit horny? Because I might just, go with it.
Now, that was my big thing about this one. I almost didn't add this one just because it's super, like, everybody's going to say dip. But think about it, though.
Right.
The precursor to that was hours of... Now, is it weird? Is it super fucking awkward? Yes, absolutely, 100%. But if everything before that was true, she had a great time with him. They were having drinks. They were talking for hours. He was a good looking dude.
Right.
He might have thought I'm gonna try this thing out, and I might have sex in the car right now.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if it was going that good of a date, probably hang out. At least like take me home first. Like why?
Right, like
we couldn't even get out of the freaking parking lot. Like
wait, she was driving him to his car. Like, at least wait till you get to your car. Like,
right.
beat off in your own car.
Oh my god.
Strange humans these days. All right, last one, and this is the one that gave me the idea. So I heard somebody's post on Facebook. A friend of mine posted something about red flags and first dates and whatnot. So I had heard this story, and I posted it as a comment, and we've been talking in her thread for like a week. Like, other people like, yeah, but what about this? And what about that? And what about this? Like, it started a whole debate. So this is a good one.
Sweet.
The waitress arrives, and I wrote this one kind of out off of what I remember. The waitress arrived at the table to take your order. Your date orders a burger and asks if the cheese is extra. The waitress informs your date that the cheese is $3 extra, at which your date scoffs and opts to have the burger sans cheese. Straight, no chaser. Ooh, baby, I like it raw, old dirty bastard style. Are you sipping or are you dipping? Because he ain't spending $3 on cheese.
$3 for a slice of cheese is a lot of money.
Thank you. That was my immediate response. And all the girls on the thread were like, but it shows that he's not financially stable, and he's so cheap because he's nitpicky about cheese, and he should have just spent the $3. And I'm like, dude, what?
Well, this is my thoughts on it. If usually the people who aren't financially stable are unable to say no to things that they want. The fact that he's able to say no to cheese on his burger is, I think, a good thing, right? And also the fact that it was his burger. So what the hell do you care if he has cheese or not?
I mean, so how this scenario ended is, I guess, old girl got up, said she was going to the bathroom, and then went to the cashier or whatever, got the check and signed it, and then wrote on there, you should have got the cheese. Have a good day or something like that, and left. To me, there's more wrong with her than there is with him.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Dennis would drive his ass right to the police station.
Yeah, he should. The jerk offer, yes, I would have said. Well, but it's not indecent exposure in a vehicle.
Oh, I thought he meant drive the dude with no cheese on his burger to the police station. No cheese on the burger, straight
Dennis
to jail.
would try to arrest somebody for something like that.
Right, that's immediately what I thought.
He abstains. I'm surprised he didn't abstain completely. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you're that judgmental about somebody as far as a relationship goes, like, you didn't even give old boy the chance to explain to you why. Like, I'm gonna get a cheeseburger regardless, right? Like, it should be on the menu and say cheeseburger, and I'm gonna see that it's more, whatever the case may be. But I think in that scenario, if I ask and they tell me it's $3 extra for a piece of cheese, like, just the semantics of that whole situation, I'm probably going to get something else too, just because I can't bring myself to spend $3 on a piece of American cheese.
Right. You get a whole pack of cheese for $3.
I get a pack of like 16 for like for like $3.20 something. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I think honestly the girl's the one who I would dip on. Stay sipping with the no cheeseburger, dude.
Facts. Like, I even went as far as to be like, yeah, if you're that broke, just put a piece of cheese in your pocket, right? And then when an old girl goes to the bathroom and your burger comes, throw that little on there, schmack. You good. Ain't nothing wrong with
Depends how long it takes you to get to the restaurant. That cheese might be a mess in your pocket by then.
Oh, that's true. Ew, that'd be an even worse story if you had the condiment and the cheese in the same pocket.
Right. Like, travels around with those little packets you get in his pocket, so you don't have to pay extra for condiments.
Hey, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
Hey.
Then it said, I'm surprised that story didn't end with the guy just pulling this thing on the table. It's not the same guy.
He's still stuck on that one.
Wait a minute. So now cheese guy and jerker are the same guy. That's funny. On the next one, I'm gonna come up with some story about a dude putting a $3 piece of cheese on his meat, just to really get everybody going. All right, well, that is it for Sip or Dip. What'd you think of that?
I like that one. I did.
think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool because there's always, I was trying to find some different stories too, like all the ones when you look up like best or worst horror stories and first dates, like a lot of them are just really stupid stuff that happened. You know what I mean? It goes like, oh my God, it was so terrible. He was on his Facebook for like 20 minutes at the table. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, really? It's not going to work for me.
Right.
Okay.
No, those were interesting for sure. I liked it.
I will do much more deep diving after that, though, the next time. So I want to go back to the beginning with those pickup lines, and I want to just read a few of these.
Okay.
I'm just going to breeze through them. On a scale from 1 to America, how free are you this weekend? I like that one.
That one's good.
Hold on, let me move that to the side real quick. There we go. All right. Are you French? Because madame, you're fine.
I don't get that one.
Madame.
Oh,
you'd have to see it written out.
Right. Okay.
Life without you is like a broken pencil. Pointless. I think we've all heard that one. Are you a parking ticket? Because you've got fine written all over you. Yeah. My favorite one. Do you smoke pot? Because we'd be cute together.
I like that one.
Aside from stealing hearts, what do you do? That's a smooth one.
That is a good one.
That is a very smooth one. I'm not religious, but you're the answer to all my prayers. Oh.
That was sweet.
There must be something wrong with my eyes because I can't take them off of you. Are you good at math? Me neither. The only number I care about is yours. These might sound cheesy, but I'm telling you, some of these actually work. Like if you catch a girl at the right time and I think if you give off the impression that you know it's cheesy, like don't try to pass one of these off as like the smoothest shit you've ever said, because that ain't happening.
No, I agree. I think if it's like in a joking manner, that makes it 10 times more attractive if you're using cheesy pickup lines for sure.
Facts. Do you have a name or can I call you mine? Oh, I like that one. Is there any other good ones? If being beautiful was a crime, you'd be on the most wanted list. Is your last name Ford? Because I must hang with you. What? I believe in following my dreams, so you lead the way. Oh my God. All right, I'm done with that. It gets bad.
Oh my God, this kind of reminds me of something really quick. You know how like you just have like those like convenience stores that you go to for like literally everything, like the closest one to your house. You go so often that the people who work there like get to know you like well. Well, I have one of those, and I swear I go to this store every single day because I either need like milk or bread or something stupid. So I swear I'm there every single day. And I think I have a secret admirer who works there. And he like every time I'm there, he's like, as soon as I leave, he's like, see you in my dreams.
Oh. Let me ask you this. Is he Middle Eastern? Is he like Chaldean or Albanian or? Nope,
just a white dude.
Oh, smooth.
It's not a gas station. It's not like one of those convenience store gas stations.
Okay. It's like an actual market.
Yeah, it's like a Dollar General.
And I'm not trying to be racist or we're stereotypical, but let's be honest. A lot of the gas stations and liquor stores, and a lot of them are so smooth. So I grew up with a lot of Chaldeans and Albanians. They're some of the smoothest people you'll ever like. They got the little accent, and the shit they say is it's hilarious. Like I got one of those stores. It's a gas station down the street from me, and there's a dude, and I don't know if he's Albanian, Chaldean. I don't know exactly what his ethnicity is, but even when I walk in there, he's like, "What's up, baby? What's good, my brother, my baby?" And it cracks me up every time. I think people always like are nervous in the store to see this big black dude walk in, and dude's calling him baby. They don't know how I'm gonna react. It's actually pretty sweet.
Honestly, it's the best feeling in the world to like have your local convenience store or local gas station clerk like know you by name. Like I swear it's like the favorite part of my day, walking in there and all the employees are like, "What's up, Nikki?" I'm like, "Hey." Like I love it.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty cool.
It is.
I'm a fan. That was a big reason why I wanted to move back to my hometown too. Like not even just for the people that knew me from before, but just the familiarity and like the feeling like the show Cheers, where you can really put down roots and go places constantly so people recognize you and know you, and other than just at the bar, because all the local bars around here, they knew what I liked and knew what I wanted to drink and knew what I was going to order for food and all that. It was terrible.
Right.
It was terrible. So we typically don't do like meeting style conversations and like seriousness and all that, but I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to talk about some of those things right now, because last night was really rough. Last night was actually super rough. Like I started to ask the group for a meeting last night. It was that bad. I was so frustrated and irritated by the situation that it gave me this, that sense of like nothing fucking matters anymore. Like just fuck everything.
Right.
I don't know why that little situation last night made me so irritated and I could not shake it. I couldn't shake it. Shit.
Yeah, I feel like I handle some of like the bigger issues better than those little issues. Those little things like that piss me off more than anything else. And I am like the type of person where like I know that I'm like pissed and like being a bitch for absolutely no reason. And I'm like, I know that there's no reason for me to be acting like this, but I can't pull it away. Like I can't stop myself. Like, yeah. It's like I'm like, all you have to do is just like stop being pissed off. Like it, but right. You can't.
And I don't get, it's a physical thing though. Like, so when I went upstairs, I told my wife, I was trying to figure out, I'm like, shit. And then we had talked and you're like, we can do it tomorrow. We're good. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like, there wasn't really an issue, to be honest. Like it was figured out. We were good. We're good to go. Right. And it's not like if we didn't get this show aired on Friday, it was life or death or anything like that. So there really wasn't even a reason for me to be that pissed off. But when I tell you, like my skin was hot, like I was boiling from the inside, and I could, like, I'm playing with the babies, and I'm like, oh, I'm good, kissing on them, and I'm happy. I'm not like outwardly pissed at anybody, but I could not. I woke up this morning pissed off, and it wasn't till I went outside, I was smoking a cigarette, and then Sip or Dip came to me that I calmed down. So I think it was more of like feeling unprepared and that I wasn't going to be able to pull it together.
Right.
I think that really got to me because since I've been sober, there hasn't been many times where I haven't pulled it together. Right. Through the house fire, through the kids being born, through this, through that, through all of that. Like it's like I'm made for this shit and I'm made to bounce back. I'm made to rise up. But it seemed like last night, after that happened, I'm like, I don't think we have time, and I don't know if I can come up with another segment. The show's gonna suck. And, oh my god, we should just not air the show. Like, oh well, we had a good run with 3 episodes.
We had a good run.
It was.
I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the fact that you and me both are very passionate about this, and it's something that we really want to do, and we want it to, go well. Because I know whenever we first started, like the first, like I'd say like 2 shows, I'd say we were like kind of scrambling for the drinks, and I'm like, oh my god, Derek's gonna think like I don't care about the show. I had to text him and say, listen, I hope like I really want to do this. Yeah. But I get that way too. Like I start to like worry, and I'm like, well, is it going to work out? Is it not going to work? You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, and I think it goes along with just being passionate about it and just really wanting it. Yeah. So, I don't think that's a bad thing.
It's not. I just know that I wish that I could, and I look up to Dennis too. I know he gets, pissed all the time, obviously, and I always bring it back to this one situation. I will never forget this, Dennis. If you're still in the building, I will never, ever forget this the rest of my life. He was talking about something. He started to get frustrated with the thought he was having and saying it out loud. And he literally stopped himself and said out loud, no, I'm supposed to be giving gratitude. I'm not supposed to be bitching about stuff. I got to switch up. And then he started saying things he was grateful for about the same person. I still to this day don't know how he did that.
He constantly, I love when Dennis shares because he's just so, like, I feel like every thought that is in that man's mind comes out of his mouth. Yes. And I love that about him. Like, I just, he'll be sharing and like something pops up and he's like, it just keeps going. And I love it. Like, I love listening to it. It's so great. Shout out to you, Dennis, for sure. Your shares are killer.
It's awesome, I think, too, because a lot of our brains work like his does, but he lets us see it work. Yeah. Like we'll sit there and mill shit over or like think about it, and then we pick like the best thing to say, and then Dennis is like, yeah, fuck it. All right, so fuck it.
Like, he just goes off. I love
to do that. I need to do that more often, man. Like, so right. What did he say? David said we all awfulize when frustrated. Yeah, that's a good way to put that. I don't know if we just feed off of it or if we just need to feel terrible or what it is, but I don't know. And I think the worst part too was the fact that I knew I was fucking mad for no reason. I knew that I shouldn't be that pissed. And I was telling my wife, I'm like, I just can't shake it. Like, I'm not even mad right now. I was literally playing with the babies, giving them hugs and kisses, and I hugged my wife, kissed her, was bopping around. But just the feeling I had inside of like just pure anger, disappointment, failure, like all these huge feelings popped up over something so little. And that's what's very dangerous. That's what's the most dangerous part about recovery, is because the willingness to still not go drink or do drugs when you feel like that, it's difficult to hold on to.
It is.
And a lot of people don't,
Yeah, that's always been, the way that we deal with our problems. We deal with those big feelings of, anger, sadness, stress, frustration. You get high, you numb it, you drink, so
yeah,
being able to get through that without doing any of that, it's tough to learn. You literally have to relearn how to handle these emotions all over again, depending on how long you're in active addiction too. It makes it 10 times harder. If you're like a decade, 20-year long drinker, you're going to take some time to learn how to remanage your emotions.
One of them. I was 20 year. I think I started drinking heavy. I'll say in college. I drank some in high school, but obviously not, super ridiculous. But once I went to college is when I started drinking heavy, and I really never stopped. So that was in 2004. So this next year will be 20 years. Ooh. That's so weird to think about.
Isn't it?
It's very strange to think about, but I'm very happy I am where I'm at. We're still learning. We're still in the process of growing, people. I don't want anybody to ever watch this show and think that the two of us are preaching to you about things like we're on top of it, because we're linear to you all. We're all lateral in this thing. No one's ever a step above or a step below anybody, because personally, to me, I believe the higher you are, the farther you fall, kind of thing. So I like to stay on the ground level with everybody else. I have different experiences than you have, which may in turn lead me to knowing something more in a situation than you. But overall, in general, I don't know shit. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I learn something from somebody every day. I learn stuff from my toddlers, which is, people say, "Oh, how could you? You're just saying that." No, literally, just how they are, how they live, of course they're babies and they don't know any better. But that's the point, though. The world hasn't tainted a toddler yet, so it's just pure joy. And when they need something, it's pure pain. Right. It's very black and white. So I think we can learn something from that, because if us addicts, we think too much.
Yeah.
We think way too much about the smallest shit, and it's not good for us. So
for sure.
Oh man. Yeah, I think we did the damn thing, Nikki. I think we can let these people go a little early tonight.
Yeah, I think we did good for having a makeup show. I think it all worked out, and
I'm pretty sure if we didn't tell anybody, they wouldn't think this was a makeup show.
Right. And this is only episode 4 too, so I think we're only going to get better from here. I've never been a radio talk shower, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just following Derek's lead.
Hey,
so, it's a learning process.
You're doing a damn good job. Let me say that.
Thank you.
Very happy. So we'll do last call. You have any last shout outs, any last things we need to talk about? What's going on with you for the weekend? Tell these people what they can expect from you.
So, I don't really have any plans for this weekend, but I will say my girls had their preschool art show today, which was the absolute cutest thing ever. Hold on. I got to show you a picture of them in their little artist hats because, oh my God, they're like little Van Goghs. And I got to see all the art that they made.
Oh, that's cute.
There's McKenna.
Oh, that's cute.
And then there's Maddie.
Oh my goodness.
So that was awesome. I loved that.
Did they put their art up like a gallery?
Yeah, so we got to go into the preschool and they had, the different art crafts that they did in different sections all set up like an actual art show. So you walk through. There's sweet. Muffins and fruit and yogurt and all kinds of breakfast stuff too. It was so cute. Girls were so excited. I love, preschool shit. I love having preschoolers and getting to see all the stuff they do.
Babies are so cute. I'll have to send you this video I just saw on Instagram earlier. Had me a little bit teary-eyed. There's this little boy, and they had the same kind of thing, art gallery type of thing, and he had a picture in the thing, but his aunt didn't know it, and it was of her. And so she walked up. She's like, "Oh, that's so cute." And then she's like, "Oh my God, that's me." And then she read the description of it next to it, and it was the sweetest, It's like, my aunt's the greatest person on the planet. She grows sunflowers in her backyard and gives it to strangers so they smile. And she's, oh, it was the cutest thing on the planet.
Aww.
I almost cried.
Kids are the best. Kids are like the worst, best things in the world.
It's horrible. Kids are emotional purgatory.
Yeah.
They're terrible. They're awesome. They're in between. Like, you get every full range, and it doesn't stop when they start communicating. Like, my oldest are 17, and it's such a roller coaster with them as well. And for all their lives is going to be, even when they move out and they have, they're adults and having issues with life in general, it's still going to be,
right.
You don't stop being a parent until the day you die.
Right.
So on that note, my last call, as usual, my wife, the person that keeps me sane and helps me navigate these 8 loonies, this big old loony bin. Tonight for me, I'm going to this grand opening, and it's going to be incredible. It's going to do a lot for the network and our abilities to host artists, to do shows, to, Sobar Lounge. If that ends up being a thing, then, hopefully you and I can do our show from the Sobar Lounge a couple times. And, possibilities are endless. So I definitely have my head on a swivel tonight. It's the first time I'm going to be out at a bar, at nighttime with a bunch of people. I think the fact that it's a work thing is definitely going to help me, but I definitely have my ripcord ready. And if it's getting too much, I'm definitely taking off ASAP, and I may call you guys for a meeting if it gets bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Please reach out to us if you need to. You know that we're always here.
I will. So we just switched over to a different platform, so I don't have my banners, and I don't remember the number offhand. But if you or anybody is struggling with addiction and needs help or want help, please reach out to us directly. Nikki does this for a living. She just showed me her work and helped a friend of mine. I haven't heard from her today, by the way, which is good because they said they were taking her phone. So
great.
21 days, and we'll see what happens.
Hopefully
to everybody, yeah, hopefully. Everybody that showed up, we love you. Joel, Crazy Canadian, Jesse, David, Dennis. Man, we had a lot of people in here today.
Yeah, we had a good turnout. I'm happy.
Allison Ray, super happy. Her birthday just passed the other day, so I want to take the chance to say happy birthday on air to you, even though all of us said it a million times. Yeah, Tanya. Okay, that's another one that came. Tanya and Ashley. I wanted to make sure I shouted them out as well. They were first timers in the building. Sean as well. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. You guys are the absolute best. As I always say, congratulations. If you stuck with us for this long and you go to sleep now, you will wake up with no hangover. Thank you guys so much. I love you. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys. Bye.